Here we go, y'all. What it do? It's Mr. Rockhart. Everything in the building. Dig. Of course, this is a For the People, episode 12. This one, got my little notes here. Okay. This one is about, what is it about? This one is going to be like on retirement, y'all. Alright? So, I talked to a couple of different people about this whole retirement thing just as a whole, right? And just trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying, about where you should be for retirement. When should you start? What's an appropriate time for you to, get your stuff together and then ultimately end up retiring, right? So here's a couple of things that I came up with. Okay, so first thing I thought was about how long, I ain't on my watch, about how long, what age you should start at for your retirement. All right, so I was thinking it's probably better or sooner than later, right? Because ideally, you want to try to get into this thing, you want to do your thing, you want to be able to get out, right? So ideally, the sooner you start, the sooner you'll be able to get out. All right, so I'm thinking that most people that I know of anyway, their children start working at a very early age. 16, a little part-time job. 17, definitely about 18 and working. So we'll just say 16, right? So you start working at 16, you kind of putting your thing together. You're kind of going down the road doing it, right? So, of course, out of every check, you should be able to save a certain amount of money, to make sure that you have this money put up, for you, to end up making some investments or whatever you need to do, right? So, next thing I got here is how much should you put up? All right, so like for me, I'm thinking, especially if you're a kid, you really ain't got no bills. So almost all of this money is just kind of do whatever you want to do with money, right? So at this point, it really don't matter. So I would say definitely, while you're still staying at home with your moms, you ain't got no bills to pay, things of that nature, I would say put up at least half to 3/4 of your money, all right? Half to 3/4 of your money. And the reason that I say that is, again, is because you don't have nothing to spend your money on, right? So you should be able to just save it. It shouldn't be a problem. So now, let's start thinking about the people who are maybe in college, all right? And maybe you have to start paying for some of your stuff. So you're 18, 19 years old, right? So I would say at that point, try to squeeze and at least put up 1/4 of your money, out of all of the money you get. Now, I'm not saying wild out and, go spend all of the money that you have, by no means. But at the same time, I know you have to have some fun. So naturally you're going to go spend some of it, okay? So next up, I'm going to jump, wait a minute, where should I go? Okay, I'm gonna say, I had the next one up here, but I'll save it for the last one. But I'll say, now you get to a point where it's time to start making some form of investment, right? So what should you invest your money in, or how should you invest it? Should you let the government take a certain amount of your money out and then invest it in the stocks and stuff like they've been doing? Do you take the money out and get your own financial broker and then do your own investments? Or do you just kind of straddle your money over onto both sides of that? Meaning, you let the government pull the money out of your taxes, put the money up, into whatever financial institutions that they put it in, and they do that thing, as well as you having your own financial institution that does that for you. You know what I'm saying? Either way, I don't think that you can really go wrong. But I would probably recommend you doing your own stuff and take full advantage of you with full control over your money, where it's going and what's going to happen with it. Just my opinion. I've talked to different people about this, especially somebody who really knows about this thing, and they suggest to, let the government do their thing, and then you also do your thing at the same time. Okay. I also say, part of your investment should be in, basically how you're going to live your life, right? So I would believe, or I would hope at any rate, that everybody that's doing this thing is going to want to be able to, for the most part, do what we call living for free. It's not really living for free if you got an investment property where you got a duplex, triplex, multi-unit type of building thing or what have you, right? So in my mind, what I would be thinking is, you go get you at least a 2-family flat or duplex or what have you, so you can live in one side, you know what I'm saying, and a tenant can live in the other side, right? So if both of you guys are paying it off, although it's your property, but the money that they pay plus what you pay, you can pay it off early. So therefore, at that point, you're living for free and you're collecting this money, from this tenant. However, I would prefer if you got at least a 4-unit building, at least a four-unit building. If you're gonna go ahead and pay, you might as well go ahead and wild out and make a bigger investment now, sort of pay off, bigger for you in the end. I also think with that, if you can, even like on the next adventure. So say you got a 2-unit, deal this time, all right? So you get that paid off, and then you start taking that money collectively. Don't save it, don't go buy a bigger car, and none of that old crap and stuff I'm talking about. Don't go do none of that. Save all of the money and then make a bigger down payment on maybe like a 4-unit this time, or a 6-unit, or an 8-unit, and then move into that, start doing some rehabbing on that, rent out the unit that you were living in the 2-family, and then slowly but surely, as you start rehabbing or doing whatever needs to be done on your new building, start rent it out to people as you go. So that way you're kind of ahead of the curve as you go, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump to how much money you need monthly. All right, y'all. And basically what that means is whatever your living is going to be, whatever your living expenses. So say you do want a car now, and you also want to be able to vacation 4 times a year, and you want to be able to go out and eat dinner twice a week or what have you. So you basically got to figure out how much money you need per month for you to be able to live comfortably when you retire. Okay, so say, let's just say you need, want or what have you, $4,000 a month. So that means you can have a car note and insurance of $700, because by this time, you're getting ready for your retirement, right? You can have something nice now. So say you got $700-800 a month in car note and insurance. We also know that you can add gas in, so we'll just top that out at $1,000, right? So the property you already own, because if you've done what you're supposed to do from 16, 17, 18, you should already own these things by now, because you're taking all of the money and doubling it back up, right? So what is your plan for the rest of your money? Are you going to do this traveling? Every time you travel, you're going to spend $2,000-3,000 shopping, things of that nature. So you got to kind of figure out what you're looking for monthly as far as what you should be making your investments for from the time that you're 16. Because all of those things are going to matter by the time you get to the end, if you want to have a certain amount of money left over, for you to be able to do these things that you need to do to have that monthly, cash flow coming in. You're going to have to decide what you need, and then once you decide what you need, you're going to have to plan from there how to go about getting it. Okay? So, and I don't know what this time is, so I'm kind of rushing through this thing. But, oh yeah, I always forget this all the time. But please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Any feedback that you want to know or what have you, by all means, get at me. We out here, we're going to try to do this thing together, y'all. Okay, so, last but not least, let's talk about what age you should retire. Okay. Now, of course, I'm still working and I'm 47, but I fucked this up already. Excuse me, I messed this up already. Got a gang of kids, you know what I'm saying? I've just been messing up my life. I didn't really have financial guidance on this thing right here, right now, right? So, we're going to assume that you started, when you were 16. We're going to assume that by the time you were 21, you bought at least a duplex for you to start. I'm going to also say by the time you got to 30, that one was paid off. You're making profit you know what I'm saying, off of it. You're still stacking your money. So now you can go to your next one. You have your next one by the time you are 35. You know, then by the time, of course, you're 45, you should be done paying for it by that time. But you have a 4, 6, 8 unit building now, right? So you should have everything, you know what I'm saying, set out for that to go, so you should be fine. So definitely by the time, I would say you're 40, you should be able to retire by that time. The reason that I really say 40 is because at that point, you're still pretty young to be able to go out and do anything and everything you want to do, right? So you won't, hopefully, pray to God, you didn't work at a job that beat your body up, you know, so you got achy bones, you know what I'm saying, stiff joints and all of that other stuff, so you're still functioning very properly, but you still will be able at that point to kind of get out and enjoy yourself because you're still fairly young and still fairly healthy at 40 years old, okay? So, okay, your multi-unit may not be paid off, but that's okay because you've also been working a job while you've been making them investments. So your investments may even be paid off before that, right? So the way that I'm thinking, you should be able to start working by the time that you're 16, start making a proper investment, start saving your money, figure out which one of the investment strategies or multiple that you want to go to, and then have you an investment plan to have at least some money for you to at least be able to live for free. Even if that's just a duplex, you'll still be able to live for free because you can stay on one side and you can rent the other side off and still pay off the bill. You understand what I'm talking about? So again, this is For the People, episode 11. This is my version of when you should retire, you know, at what age. And again, it's 40 in my opinion. So everybody that's out here now needs to start coming up with a plan, or start coming up with a plan for your children, to start getting them, pushing them in a direction so they can start getting these things done. You understand what I'm talking about? Before they get our age and still be working and busting our asses, right? So again, this is For the People, episode 12. When should you retire? You know what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe, comment, y'all. Let's get it. We out. Bang.
Keep your faith. This is destiny to give you the best of me. This is destiny. This is destiny.